Hey everyone, welcome back to the Basic Butch Tarot. My name is Jennifer Rose and I am the head butch in charge here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. Happy New Year, happy 2023. We've made it. So now what? So now I'm going to do a quick 5-card tarot card reading called What Do I Need This Year? And I had to say thanks to Alyssa at the Arcane Dames Podcast and give much love to my friend Mel over at Arcane Dames. If you haven't listened to their podcast about tarot and spirituality and all sorts of amazing things, please do so. If you're interested in tarot, if you get your cards read all the time, if you watch people like me on YouTube and you're interested to know other perspectives, other card decks, or just listen to some people having discussions about the tarot decks and their experiences with clients, Arcane Dames is the podcast for you. So go check them out wherever it is that you listen to your podcasts. They're on Instagram and TikTok, so go check them out. But today, what do I need this year? The first card I'm going to draw is physically, what do I need this year? All right, physically, what you need this year is the Eight of Swords. So typically, first of all, I see in this card that heart. And, physically, I think that we need to take care of ourselves literally, like maybe in a cardiovascular way, whether that mean altering your diet to exclude excess amounts of salts and add in fresh veggies, whether it means that we get up and we move our bodies around as much as we possibly can. And I understand that not everybody can do that, but in whatever way it works for you, I think that this is telling us that we need to be wrapped up in ourselves and thinking about how it is our physical bodies can be embraced, especially our heart. Okay, so don't turn a blind eye to your physical manifestations. So the information I'm getting is really, really follow your gut instinct as far as what your health is concerned. Like, don't stay in a worried, do not stay in a worried frame of mind as far as your physical health goes. Do not ignore that pain. Do not ignore that extra hour of sleep that you don't normally get. Like, really, really trust your gut instincts about your health this year, okay? And don't just sit and I know sometimes what I do is something will be hurting me, and I have autoimmune conditions. So, like being extra sleepy is a side effect of like everything that I have, right? But sometimes I overlook other symptoms that I think might be associated with them, and sometimes I'm really, really wrong. So please don't stay in a confused state of mind as far as your health and your physical health is concerned. If that knee has been hurting and hurting and hurting a lot and you've been meaning to go get it looked out, this is the year to go get it checked out. This is the year to take care of ourselves physically. And again, I want to say, make sure, and I see whatever it is that's giving you a stabbing pain. Like if your gut hurts, it feels like maybe your gut hurts. If your gut hurts, it's time to figure out why it hurts. It's time to, eliminate foods that may or may not, that you might suspect already of bothering you. If that's what, I'm feeling a gut situation. So trust your gut. And if it's your gut that's bothering you, haven't seen about, make some alterations to your schedule of how you eat, what you eat, do a process of elimination to make yourself feel better physically here in the new year, 2023. Do not ignore your aches and pains. Do not ignore your gut instincts as far as your physical health is concerned in 2023. So the next card I'm going to draw is your mental health. Mentally, what do I need this year? Mentally, what you need to do is you need to get grounded. You need to figure out where your support is. You need to give some more thought to you need to give the first thing that popped out into my head, and this is probably just guidance for me, but you need to give more thought to your words and actions than normal. And I really feel like the grounding part is very, 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 very important. Mentally, like there really is some science to, just kind of going for a walk when you're mad or counting to 10 when you're mad, meditating, having a meditative practice, whether it's praying or, walking or humming or just being mindful while you're cooking. I think this year, as far as our mental health is concerned, it's about being grounded. It's about feeling connected to the earth, being connected to our community, being connected to ourselves, knowing knowing ourselves, clearing our chakras, making sure everything is firing on all cylinders. And these two go hand in hand, right? Like, make sure that all these things are firing on all cylinders. And mentally also, like, to me this looks like it's really just about meditation, and it's also about like cutting yourself off from things that don't feed you, that don't like that don't make you grow. Like, cut yourself off from those things that don't make you grow, especially in a mental capacity. Like, maybe it is your chore for yourself this year to read more, or like have more conversation. Like, I really enjoy having more discussion with people one-on-one, or even through email. It helps my mental health a lot to be connected. So I think that we all are going to find how we're connected to this earth, and then we're going to disconnect ourselves in order to figure out what our connection is to it. Okay, so remember to clear your chakras. If you don't know about the chakras, look them up. Make sure that you're able to talk, make sure you're able to breathe, get those deep breaths in. And I mean deep breaths in mentally too. So if you're working 12-hour days, get up from your desk. Have a change of scenery, walk around the block, drive around the block, have a conversation with someone, even if you're sitting in the same chair. Mentally, we have to just break up that stream of monotonous chaos. Mentally, we have to break that up with some grounding practices. Okay, so look up some grounding practices, and make sure you're cutting yourself off from things that give you that chaotic feeling. And sometimes that chaotic feeling is coming from me. So figure out what grounds you. If it's reading, if it's having a conversation, if it's going out, anything that makes you feel just valid, and continually remind yourself that being mindful, being here right now, and literally physically putting your feet on the ground, going outside and putting your feet on the ground, on some concrete, on some grass or ground is even better. Just getting those shoes off and putting yourself down. If you can sit down, however close we can get to the earth, and just sit down and feel how that pulls us down, how it holds us, how it wraps us around. Yes, we need all of that support. So take it and use it, and mentally, and just just protect your mind. Don't let your mind just kind of go all over the place. All right, if it's feeding through your root chakra, and if it's not causing you to grow outwardly, then you've got to cut it off. Okay, that's my guidance. That's what I'm hearing from my spirit guides right now. So next, to the third card. I got a little carried away on the second one, didn't I? The third card is emotionally. What do I need this year? Emotionally, Ace of Wands. It looks like you need to take a look around you. You need to take a different look, a look at something from a different perspective. There are like 5 different things coming to me for this card, as a matter of fact. A change of scenery, a change of scenery in your job, in your career, in your literal physical, like moving from a different town, moving to another state, like moving and getting moving out. If your idea for this year is to do more traveling, then it's possible that you're looking into travel plans. I can't help but think of Arizona or something when I look at this card, right? And so emotionally, I think how this card relates is, I think emotionally we have to start being the person that takes initiative. So in love, if you're not the one who normally initiate things, this is your year to initiate things. In the same token, I want to say, and I don't know why, it's just coming to me, like, so if you're taking initiative in a romantic way, that doesn't necessarily always mean, like making the first pass, or making the first contact with someone. Sometimes, speaking emotionally would mean using your words as opposed to using your physical ways of, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Just give me 1 second. There's a whole lot of information coming through on this Ace of Wands. And my wife and I draw this Ace of Wands. I'm telling you, it's my friend at Arcane Dames. This was the this was the episode that I was on their podcast with the Ace of Wands. And so I get a little tricked up on the Ace of Wands here because it's kind of like a little bit of an inside joke, but it really is a fiery, passionate, go get it, right? And emotionally, I think that it's about finally going and getting it. Like, like we've put in all this effort, we've seen a lot of shit, and now we're trying to make a plan to go forward. And we're kind of excited about it, right? Like we're kind of really ready. We've got the energy to go ahead and do it. And as far as in a romantical sense, I'm thinking really that not only is it you that might start being, the first one to notice someone or the first one to talk with someone, but it also may be that, oh, how am I wanting to put this? It also may be that you start to like really stand up for yourself as far as love is concerned, and you're not going to just settle for anyone else. Like you're really looking at your options here, and you're looking at a way to move forward, something different, something. See, I see this color of. I was just talking about grounding, and I see this color of clay, and I think of sand. Like in this chameleon here. And, like, I think that this might be your year to figure out who you are, like where you stand as far as, how assertive you're going to be, not just in your romantic life, but in life in general. And, like, I think that you've been looking out. I think that this is something that you've been looking at for a minute. And this is actually looking backward. And I think that you're taking some lessons here, emotionally. And instead of being the person that drags yourself down, you're going to actually pick yourself up. You're going to have more fire, and you're going to, like, those down times aren't going to be as, they're not going to be as all encompassing. They're not going to be as heavy as they were before, because I really, honestly, I just think you're sick and tired of it, and you're ready to, you're ready to take the gears. You're ready to go forward. You're ready to be a little bit more fiery in your presentation and always emotionally. And I think that everybody's going to kind of take notice of you. I really also think that this is someone taking notice of you in that way. And I think that you'll finally feel seen if emotionally you're able to. And I don't mean it has to be fiery meaning like that you have to fight or that you have to quabble. I mean fiery like, normally you don't say a whole lot to defend yourself maybe, and maybe now you're starting to speak up. Like people are starting to hear your voice. You're finally starting to find your voice emotionally, and you found a way that you can communicate with others, that you can take the reins, that you can take the wheel, and have other people understand your emotions right away without having to be like having a whole bunch of conversations about it. I just think that this is your time to drive forward. I think there's new opportunities there if you just put it in gear, put it in gear and go. Emotionally, our gears are moving, and we want to grow, and we want to move forward. So I feel like that this card is saying you're definitely going to do that and move forward. I'm going to draw another card on that just because, and there we go. So on that Ace of Wands with your emotionally, what do I need this year? Sorry, I'm getting excited. Emotionally, what do I need this year? And I think that we have to, exercise a little bit of judgment of when we apply that extra fieriness. So I think that we've learned some lessons here, and I think that, this year is just going to be a little bit different for us. I think that we're not going to give a shit about who's judging us anymore. I think that we're finally finding our validation in who we are, and I think that we're just really ready to go forward emotionally. I think that if last year you took off from having a relationship, this year you're like, nope, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to worry about anybody else judging who it is that I'm dating or what I'm doing with my dating life or how many people I'm sleeping with. I think that this definitely comes back to love for me. And it looks like emotionally you're going to be a little bit more ready to stand up to the judgment, and you're going to give yourself something that helps you to grow. Mentally and emotionally, you're going to grow, and you're going to find more growth the more and more you are able to take the reins and push forward. Socially, what do I need this year? Socially, I think these all kind of go together, right? So socially, what do we need? Queen of Swords. Socially, I love the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is like, to me, she's the no fucks given. She is someone that you can come to. She is a resource. She's going to tell you about yourself. She's going to tell you if that outfit doesn't look good on you or if it makes you look fat. She's going to tell you if she thinks that guy is bad for you or that person is bad for you. She's going to tell you that. She is decisive. She has information. She doesn't play around. Does it look like the Queen of Swords plays around? She does not play around, right? She has eyes and ears everywhere. And socially, she's going to be kind of like that person that socially, you're going to be the person that kind of stands out in the room if you're just like monitoring the room, right? Like socially, I think that you're going to be very cautious about who it is that you're going to be around these days. And I think that you're also going to be a little bit picky about what you involve yourself in and who you involve yourself with. Yes. But I think that you're socially, what you're going to need this year is I think that you're just going to need to remember that not everything is black and white. Because really, I think that the Queen of Swords is actually a nice, I think the Queen of Swords is someone to have at a party. I think that the Queen of Swords is kind of like the designated driver of the party, right? They're going to tell you like, hey, you've had too much to drink. You know, like they're going to do that kind of thing, possibly. And they're also just going to be surveying the room in a social way. So just socially pick who it is that you're hanging out and where you're going, and use that Queen of Swords energy. Use that sword to as a reminder that you can say no. Just because somebody asks you to do something doesn't mean you have to. Socially, it also means that we need to, again, worry about what we're consuming as far as information is concerned, our social media, our news, etc. It's going to be very, very important, especially as far as justice and equity goes this year. We're going to have a whole lot of shakeups. So on a social level, you know, you want to keep yourself grounded, and you are going to be very particular about who it is that you're hanging out with and what you're doing this year, I feel. And I feel like socially, the Queen of Swords is probably really going to try to let loose. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I just really kind of saw that bird flying off, and it tells me like, let loose, like letting loose, right? Spiritually, what do we need this year? The final card. What do we need spiritually? Page of Cups. We need to trust our emotions and our intuitions. Yes, sometimes our emotions come up and it's in the form of crying, or if it's in the form of yelling, or it's in the form of not wanting to do anything. It's in the form of staying in bed. But we also need to remember to trust our intuition. You know, trust our body. If we want it to stay in bed, then there's a reason that our body needs us to use that energy or not use that energy in order to refuel, repower ourselves. And the Page of Cups is, you know, like a new opportunity, a new way of, you know, like I was talking about spiritually, it's really about listening and understanding yourself. It's about understanding your own brain, about how it is that you feel inside and how you want that to how you feel that on an emotional level, like how you feel that on an intuitive level. And I see this, it looks like a sunrise or a sunset here. And this to me from this angle looks like an ocean. And it looks like, you know, like there has been a whole lot of emotional stuff that's happened, okay? And it may be difficult to like walk away from that. And I know 2023 isn't like a necessarily good excuse for something that might have happened to you in 2022 to get past it. But what this card is asking us to do is to take the initiative to start listening to ourselves, to start following our intuition, to to allow our spirituality to actually open up, like to allow our third eye, to allow our openness to, like once we're getting grounded, like really listening to ourselves. Have you ever just listened to yourself? Listen to all of the bubbles that your body makes. Listen to your breath. Pay attention to all of those things, right? But the Page of Cups is asking us to, pay attention to our emotions and know that we have come out of a lot. But we should trust our guts and our intuition right now. And we should also, give thought to listening to other people when they come to us with spiritual advice, and, like take it with a grain of salt. So I think it's okay to consume things that make you feel well spiritually, that make you feel a sense of community. And I just want you to trust your gut on what it is that you're consuming. If it doesn't feel good to you, leave. I had a friend of mine that just attended a church recently, and there were a couple of things that really kind of bothered her about it. And, I just really simply told her to use her gut guidance and intuition. Like your instinct is going to tell you, spiritually if something is off. Okay. And just because, and, yeah, the Queen of Swords is just saying, yeah, and make sure you double check that information that's being given to you too, as far as, spirituality is concerned. Like I've been in this true crime kind of situation on TikTok for a hot minute, and there's all sorts of rumors and speculation around some stuff, and I feel like sometimes that can happen in a spiritual sense. And I just want to say, give some discernment to what it is that you're ingesting in a spiritual way. And remember that the best way that we can take care of ourselves spiritually is just to take care of ourselves. We know best how to take care of ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we are just not wanting to do it, but we've got to trust our gut when we know that spiritually we need a boost, that spiritually we need to trust our gut. When the third time after we said, oh, I should have trusted my gut, or I should have listened to them, but take that with a grain of salt too, and the Knight of Swords. So, to round it out with, this is like slow and steady wins the race for me on this one. The Knight of Swords is someone who can, go too fast and make some frivolous decisions. Okay. So I think that that's a really good guidance on this card right here. So don't make a bunch of frivolous conditions, especially if it's something that you feel like just kind of fills you up at the moment. Think about where you're at when you're going to look for that spiritual side of you, and just make sure that the information that you collect, like if there's something that doesn't make you feel good about it, then definitely do a little bit more searching, a little bit more asking about whatever it is that you're getting ready to participate in. And just know that a little bit, gosh, as soon as I saw that, I thought, just don't go full steam ahead in it, okay? Just kind of take the reins and make sure that you always have the reins, especially on your own spirituality. Make sure that you have the reins of this and don't let anybody else, take control. I looked down the clock and it's 23 minutes, and I know that's pretty long for a reading, and I know that I did a whole lot of rambling, but this is who I am and this is where it is, and that is your reading. Compliments of Alyssa from the Arcane Dames. What do I need this year? It sounds like we all need a bit of grounding. We all need to know who we are. We all need to trust our instincts a little bit more. Always, take care of our mental and physical health. Both of those things go hand in hand. And spiritually, if you are looking for some way to connect, trust your gut, and trust your gut, and don't discount your gut when it says that maybe this might not be the place for you to be spiritually. Just trust that and make sure you do, some background, give yourself enough information if you're out there looking for something to spiritually guide you. Okay. And just know that you are loved, and, the best kind of love comes from you to you. Thank you so much. I will be back for another reading about career in 2023 tomorrow.